Welcome guys to the third lecture about the history of the Latin American literature. We have already talked about the pre-Columbian literature and the Baroque, the Indian Baroque. Now we're going to talk about modernism. Well, we're not going to go into the 19th century because it is not really relevant. I mean, it is, but not that much as the modernismo. Just a brief summary. During the 19th century is the century of the independence. So in every country try to found a national book, national icon, just to support the idea of nationalism. We have in Argentina Martín Fierro or La Araucana in Chile, just two examples of those nations books. Well, but now, modernismo. It starts at the end of the 19th century with in 1888 with the with the publication of Azul, written by Rubén Darío. First of all, don't confuse, modernismo is not the same that modernism, that English modernism. So don't think that writers as James Joyce or Virginia Woolf fit in this modernismo. They are two completely different strains. So, what is modernismo? Modernismo is a way to understand the world and reflected in the text. Modernismo is a reaction against the bourgeoisie, against the bourgeois art. Bourgeoisie was trying to use the art in some way, to make it useful. So the modernistas claim against that position. They claim they did support the idea of ars gratia artis in Latin, which means art only for the art, like only the pursuit of beauty. Well, in this context, the first modernista, the criticism said the first one was José Martí. José Martí was born in Cuba, while Cuba was still being part of Spain. But he's known as the apostle of the Cuban independence, as he was one of the main thinkers and fighters for the independence of Cuba. Sadly, he died before they got independence. Concepts of freedom, liberty, and democracy are prominent themes in all of his work. Maybe one of the most important books by José Martí is Ismaelillo. Ismaelillo is a collection of poems that he wrote for his son called Ismael. Ismaelillo is like, little Ismael. But then the most famous and the main author in modernismo is Rubén Darío. Who was Rubén Darío? Well, he was born in Nicaragua, but he traveled all around the continent, the South America, and also around Spain, and he spent part of his life in Paris as well. Remember, during the 20th century, at the first part of the 20th century, Paris and France was like the core of the culture and of the art. Well, first he moved to Chile, and in Chile, in Valparaíso, he wrote Azul in 1888. When it's like, it says that with the publication of that book, modernismo officially begins. After Azul, he also wrote Prosas profanas y otros poemas in 1896, and Cantos de Vida y Esperanza in 1905. He wrote an anti-religious poetry with symbols of the blue color. Remember, azul means blue, his first book. Another important symbols are the swan, as you have in the slide, or the ivory tower. As the modernistas thought about themselves as a tiny creature, like a magic creature, just in his ivory tower, not involving with the rest of the world, just looking everything from the top. That's why they don't involve in, that's why the art is an art without utility. They only look for the beauty. The same with the swan. Why do they use the swan as the symbol? Well, swan is a bird, so you can fly and see everything from the top, as well as there's the ivory tower and the white color, which is means pure. Well, we are gonna read now one extract. It's not the full text, but well, you will imagine how Modernismo is. I'm gonna read it in Spanish, but you have it in English at your right. You can find the full text in azul, and the poem is called Sonatina, and it was one of the most famous poems from Rubén Darío. La princesa está triste. ¿Qué tendrá la princesa? Los suspiros escapan de su boca de fresa, que ha perdido la risa, que ha perdido el color. La princesa está pálida en su silla de oro, está mudo el teclado de su clave sonoro. Y en un vaso, aliviada, se desmaya una flor. El jardín pura el triunfo de los pavos reales. Parlanchina, la dueña dice cosas banales, y vestido de rojo, piruetea el bufón. La princesa no ríe, la princesa no siente, la princesa persigue por el cielo de oriente, la libélula vaga de una vaga ilusión. ¿Piensa acaso en el príncipe de Golconda o de China, o en el que ha detenido su carroza argentina para ver de sus ojos la dulzura de luz? ¿O en el rey de las islas de las rosas fragantes, en el que es soberano de los claros diamantes, o en el dueño orgulloso de las piedras de Ormuz? ¡Ay! La pobre princesa de la boca de rosa quiere ser golondrina, quiere ser mariposa, tener alas ligeras, bajo el cielo volar, ir al sol por la escala luminosa de un rayo, saludar a los lirios con los versos de mayo, o perderse en el viento sobre el trueno del mar. Well, as you may note, it has a lot of rhyme, it's very musical. That's one of the main features of the Modernism poem. Another feature is it's a very colorful poem, and it uses a special lexicon, not very common lexicon, with a lot of sonority, like Golconda, or in some places it says Ipsipila, Chrysálida, like long words that are beauty and sounds good. You can see the bears are always large, with a great number of syllables. It is long verse, La princesa está triste, ¿qué tendrá la princesa? It is 14 syllables for each verse. And what about the rhyme? Princesa, fresa, color, flor, oro, sonoro. Rhyme is it's 2 verse. Princesa, boca de fresa, perdido el color, desmaya una flor, silla de oro, clave sonoro. It's an easy structure. It's a structure, but it was original at his time. And another feature of the Modernismo is anti-religious poetry. So not in that one, but Rubén Darío has some of them, prosas profanas, which means just that, pro-fan, anti-religious totally. It also talk about like the grill, but in a pagan way. Well, that's all for the Modernismo. Hope you're interested in that. Just one note, I'm sure you all know the Sagrada Familia from Barcelona, built by Antoni Gaudí. Well, that's also Modernismo. So Modernismo, also known as Art Deco, was not only a literature movement. You can also appreciate it in another kind of art, like painting or architecture. Well, see you in the next lecture, guys. Thank you very much.